Hello all. I just wanted to showcase small notes on APIs and API testing. So API testing is like API is a application programming interface, and API is like used to communicate between two external softwares. Like uh, we can say it's a client and a server architecture. Whenever a client sends a request to the server get the request and process it and provide the response back to the client. So this is the expected behavior. So uh, in the client server architecture, API will play a main role. So that is why we will do the API testing to test whether that particular API is working as expected or not. So the endpoint URLs will be provided by the development team, and we have to test the APIs provided by the team whether the expected result we are getting or not. The expected result and the endpoints, and if we have to send any of the test data as an input in the post method, everything will be provided in the contract notes by the developer. So it's just in which layer we will be like testing the APIs. So there is no user interface in the API testing. If we go to the functional testing, if we are doing any of the functional testing, there will be like a web page. That form will be like visible if we are doing any of the forms testing, or if the page is like colorfully it's visible whether what component we are testing, and it will be like UI will be like visible in the functional testing. But when it comes to like API testing, there is no user interface. We are like speaking with the backend APIs, and we are getting the response back. By getting the response only, we are understanding whether our API is working as expected or not. So there are the three layers, like presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. In application layer itself called as business layer. So in business layer only we will be doing the API testing. And when it comes to like methods, we have like four multiple types of methods are there, but mostly we will be like using get, post, put, and delete. So when endpoint URL was provided by the developer, it will be like if I can say an example, https of amazon.com. So if I am sending that as a endpoint URL, and when I'm using the get method, it will retrieve the representation of that specific resource. Like if we like send that URL, we will be like, if we use a get method in postman, we will get a response back. And similarly we can use post, which is used to create a new resource in that particular API. And put also like to update, and delete is used to delete particular resource in the that particular URL. And we have like multiple status codes we will be verifying as part of the API testing, and these are all the different types of status codes. Depends on our testing scope and different depends on our expected result, we will be like verifying multiple status codes. 100, I mean like in the, if we are facing any of the interview, we can explain like 1xx is like continue and informational status, and 200 2xx are like success codes, and 3xs are like redirectional, and 4xs are client side response codes, and 5xs are server side response codes. We can explain like that, and in detailed we can explain like this: 200 is like okay success message, and 201 is like resource created, and 400 is like a bad request, 401 is like invalid access token. If we haven't forgot, if we have forgotten to create a use, I mean like provide a username and password, and we are trying to access that URL, we will be like launching in the 401 invalid access token error, and 403 is like forbidden, 404 is like not found, and 500 is like internal server error, 502 is bad gateway, 503 is service unavailable, and 504 is gateway timeout, and 300 are like a redirection to multiple request has more than one response. One is like permanently redirected, another one is like temporary redirect of that particular URL. So this is the basic explanation of the API and API testing. Thank you.